And just like that, Brock Purdy isn't injured anymore, or so they say. Good afternoon. Welcome to a very special Saturday edition of the Cohn Zone. That's Lowell Cohn. I'm Grant Cohn. We're going Saturday today because Tuesday this week was Rosh Hashanah, and my dad has decided not to work on Rosh Hashanah now that he's retired, which is commendable. And I hope to do the same thing one day. Although right now, this is no days off, Dad. I think God would hopefully understand.
I didn't necessarily do it for God. I did it for my parents and for the Jewish people. That I wanted to honor them.
Well, now I feel even more guilty, Dad. So thank you for that.
No, but I gave you a pass on that because I used to work on the high holy days when I had a job. Now I don't have a job anymore, except.
Well, now you're working on the Sabbath, so I got you there.
Yeah, I'm working on the Sabbath. It's true.
Yeah, and I did a dry triathlon at Orange Theory today, and I finished it. So I just wanted to. That's why I'm wearing this today because I'm very proud of myself. Now
he came in first. Wait, he came in first.
43 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, now that we've talked about ourselves, let's talk about the big topic, Brock Purdy starting and what we think about it. Here's what we know. He got injured week 1, and when they reported it, they said it was going to be a 2 to 5 week injury. Now, Mac Jones is injured as well. He has a knee injury, and Kyle says it's worse than what Brock's going on, although I don't know how he knows. He's not in either person's body. So Brock is back. And they say he's perfectly healthy. He wasn't even on the injury report this week. Not questionable, not nothing. Full participant on Friday. What do you make of all this, Dad?
Okay. I make of it, it's murky, Iggy. It's murky. Because as I understand it, when Brock Purdy talked this week, he didn't say he was ready to play. From what I understand, he said he wouldn't play unless he felt 100% like Brock Purdy. Like using the third person, right?
He also said he wanted to see how he felt on game day.
Okay. So all of a sudden, he said he wanted to see how he felt on game day, but it seems like he's been countermanded. That someone higher up said, no, you're ready to play. So
that's a good verb.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Iggy and I don't know what happened. What we're giving you is our opinion, not news, because I don't want anyone to think that we know something that we don't. It strikes me as a little fishy, Iggy. Mm-hmm. Mac Jones is hurt. So it seems to me they need Brock Purdy to play. Otherwise, they got the guy in the practice squad.
Otherwise,
so they really. Yeah, that's another way of looking at it. Otherwise, they'll lose. So they really need him to play. So maybe someone went to him and said, again, maybe, I don't know, went to him and said, hey, look, dude, we really need you to play. The other guy's hurt worse than you. We're gonna press you to play, and we can give you whatever painkiller. Whatever painkiller you need and relaxants and all that. And if it seems like it's getting worse in the game, we'll take you out. But we really need you to take one for the team. Iggy, that seems like a plausible hypothesis. I'm not saying it's fact. What do you think about what I said?
I think it has the ring of truth. I think that while Brock Purdy said he'd like to be as close to 100% as possible, it's kind of understood in the NFL that if you're the franchise quarterback and you're somewhat healthy, that you owe it to your team to go out there. And so I could see if they leaned on him a little bit and said, we really, really need you, him saying, okay, I'll do it for the team. But it hasn't happened yet. He could go out before the game tomorrow and say, hey, guys, this really doesn't feel right. I mean, from what I understand, he has torn toe ligaments or had them. Maybe they healed in 2 weeks. But that seems aggressive to me. It seems like he's going to be playing through something that's going to affect not only his mobility, but his ability to drive and throw. So scary.
Iggy, he has torn ligaments in his big toe?
That's what I understand. That's what turf toe is.
Iggy, let's stay with this for a moment. Let's say he gives it an honest effort, and he tries before the game, and he comes over to Conlon and he says, Coach, I really want to, do what you want me to do, but I don't really feel right, and I'm kind of nervous about this. What do the 49ers do then?
I mean, they could start Mac Jones, who's also at risk of injury because he's injured right now, or they could start their practice squad quarterback. They should have a third-string quarterback. They had a third-string quarterback last year, but this year it's a practice squad guy. And just say, look, it's a long season. We're 3-0. We're not going to overreact and act like this is a must-win game. We're going to play our practice squad quarterback and lose.
Iggy, if Brock tries before the game, warms up and says, I can't do it, they can announce him as inactive subsequent to that and announce that the other guy, by the way, what's his name? The
Adrian
practice squad.
Martinez.
Where'd they get him? Where'd they get him from?
He was on the Jets practice squad a couple of years ago, and then he went to the UFL and was the MVP of the UFL last year, spring league. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So he has some ability.
Yeah.
And he has a connection with Salah. Okay. All right. It feels to me, Iggy, like the 49ers for this game have a bit of a problem with the quarterback position.
Yeah. And it feels like a little self-imposed considering they drafted a quarterback who was injured before they drafted him. He has a torn ACL, and this is kind of a redshirt year for them. So they've been a little cavalier about the position in general. I guess we could talk about the fact that the Niners seem to get a lot of their quarterbacks injured. All of their quarterbacks are injured except for Adrian Martinez, and that's not even counting Tanner Mordecai and Carter Bradley and Nate Sudfeld, who are already casualties.
They're already injured as well?
Yeah. They're on IR. Okay. Sudfeld got he's gone, but I think the other two are on IR or got injury settlements, or both.
Okay. Let's leave them aside for a moment and just look at the tally sheet. Brock and Mac. I can't help but notice that Kyle Shanahan got 2 quarterbacks hurt in 3 games.
Yep. Mac got hurt initially preseason, and now he's hurt. He's gotten hurt twice. I don't know if he's ever really fully healed that knee. And now Brock week 1.
Yeah. So, again, I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not in the trainer's room. It seems to me that there are many good things that Kyle does, and we don't need to go into them now. We've enumerated them, but he seems to get quarterbacks hurt.
I mean, from Robert Griffin to Trey Lance to Jimmy Garoppolo 8 times. I mean, yeah, the only guy who didn't really get hurt was Matt Ryan. That was 2 years when he wasn't the head coach.
Yeah. Yeah. So, we'll talk about later whether they're going to win, whether they're going to lose against the Jaguars. I would say one other thing. And again, I don't know the state of health of quarterback 1 and quarterback 1A. But if Mac Jones is able to play, I would hold out Purdy in this game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'd play him against the Rams 4 days later. Or if both are injured, I'd play the practice squad guy, keep my fingers crossed, and let Purdy play against the Rams. You got to beat the Rams. Okay? Yeah. You got to beat the Rams.
Yeah.
Now, what did Kyle say about these kinds of games? And our viewers, this is kind of interesting, and Iggy read it to me, and it made me stop. So please read it out loud again, Guy.
Okay, so he said this in an interview with Matt Mayoko this week, maybe yesterday. He said, this is Kyle. It's so cliche for me because I end up feeling this way every week, but I feel like this is a game we need to win. You can't lose these types of games. And I know we're going against a very good team. I know there are some situations that we need to overcome, but I have felt the same these last 3 weeks. They can go either way. We're sitting here at 3-0, but just a few missed plays, a few little different things, and we could be 0-3. And I know this is going to be the exact same. This is a team that is very good, and I think they have a lot of confidence yada, yada, yada. So again, what he said was, this is a game we need to win. You can't lose these types of games. The 3-0.
If I had been in the interview room, I would have said, Coach, what do you mean by these types of games? If you want to be a little Passover about it, what makes this game different from all other games? Iggy, I don't know what the phrase "these types of games" meaning a game on the schedule, a game against a long-haired quarterback, a game against a team not in your division, a game
not in your conference.
Not in your conference. I don't understand what he means by that and why he's putting such pressure on this game when he has the Rams, who are their main antagonist 4 days later.
Yep.
So I don't understand the meaning of his words. And had I been there, I would have pressed him to try to define for himself what he means by this. To me, sometimes you take the prudent way. If Mac can't play because he's too hurt, and the other guy can just about play, but he's still pretty hurt, now you got a problem. And what do you mean by these kind of games where you have both quarterbacks hurt? He's got to explain himself to himself better. I don't know what he's talking about.
Look, I don't think it matters what these types of games are. He said this is a game they need to win, and I just disagree with that. You're 3-0. You gave yourself the luxury to lose this game. It's not a divisional game. It's not a conference game. You're undefeated. If you lose this game, you're 3-1. Big whoop. You could lose this game with Adrian Martinez playing, get Brock back in a few days if he's healthy, beat the Rams, and be in business. But if you lose Brock for the season, if he goes out and plays and these torn toe ligaments get torn further, which seems like it could happen, then that's way worse than losing one football game. That's catastrophic. Can't let that happen. And the fact that they would risk it to win a game they absolutely don't have to win doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, so these type of games are games you don't have to win. So he's apparently, or maybe saying, we have to win games we don't have to win.
Let me keep trying. Because Kyle's not an idiot. The next game against the Rams is a game they could lose, no matter who their quarterback is. The game after that is in Tampa. Again, I don't know if Kittle's going to be back for these games. That's another game they could lose. So maybe Kyle's thinking, man, if we don't beat the Jags, we're looking at a 3-game losing streak, and we're 3-3. I mean, that could be their reality. Maybe he feels like this is the most winnable of the next 3.
Fair enough. Fair. I like that.
Okay.
See, you're always a step ahead of me. You're smart. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still though,
I have a question.
Yeah.
Who do you think in reality will be the starting quarterback against the Jaguars? Because I have a definite opinion.
I think it's going to be Brock.
Me too. I think he's going to do
it. Mistake.
I mean, it
doesn't mean he'll get hurt, but it's a risk they don't need to take.
Okay, Iggy, we agree it's going to be Brock. I'm not going all the way with you and saying it's a big mistake, and I want to tell you why. I don't know how hurt he is.
It's true.
So I'm not in a position to make that statement. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say if they play him, they think he's okay. But I have to admit, I do have some gray areas about that.
Let me just say, I mentioned a few months ago during the Purdy contract stuff, by the end, I kind of knew what he was going to get because I have a source close to Purdy that I met through the DMs. And this source who, I'm not going to SI with it, but I got a DM recently from the source saying, let me just say, I don't gossip about injuries, but I'm highly surprised that he's playing this game. So,
okay. All right.
That's it. That's all I got.
So, all right. But we both think it's going to be Purdy.
We both think it's going to be Purdy, yes.
Yeah. All right.
All right, let's switch gears. Why don't we name in honor of the Niners losing Nick Bosa for the season, a terrible tragedy in the football sense. It's one of their most important players. Why don't we make an official list of the Niners' most indispensable, irreplaceable players, including Nick Bosa, wherever you would want to put him, since we're not including Nick Bosa. Okay.
No, only people on the active roster.
I like that.
We're going to make our top 10 most indispensable players, and we'll go from 1 to 10 with no suspense. But it can't be Kittle, it can't be Ayuk, and it can't be Bosa. Because it only has to be people who show up. When they show up, they can get on the list. I think that's fair, Iggy. All right. And by the way,
last-minute alterations to my list, but
we'll go slow. But I think that's the only realistic way to do it. And those are 3 pretty damn important players that are ineligible for the list as of today.
Love it. All right, Dad.
Okay.
Do you want to do your list first, or should I do mine?
I think we should go one at a time because I only have 4 written down. And I got 6 more I'm going to need help with. I'll start with 1.
Okay.
I think the most indispensable currently player on the 49ers is whoever is playing quarterback.
I agree. And I'm going to take it a step further. It's Brock Purdy because he's getting paid $53 million a year. They have to plan 4 or 5 years in the future to make this contract work. So the whole construct of the team is based on him. He has to be out there and playing well, healthy and playing very, very well. It's him. It's Brock.
Okay.
This is why this game is so interesting. The fact that they're playing him this week.
Okay. So I was doing generic quarterback and you're saying, no, Dad, it's Brock.
It's Brock.
I'm convinced. I'll give you my number 2. And again, if you disagree with me, I'll just rip your eyes out later. My number 2 is Trent Williams.
Mine too.
Okay, say why.
I mean, he's not a quarterback, so he's not as important, but he protects the quarterback's blind side. He's the best blocker they have on the team by far, and he plays a cornerstone position, and they have absolutely no succession plan for him. No plan for what happens once he gets hurt, retires. Their window is his window.
I love it. I love how you put that. Their window is his window. Okay. Number 3 for me, Fred Warner.
Yeah, that's correct.
I agree. You agree? Okay.
Yes.
Say why Fred Warner.
I mean, he's arguably a better player than Trent. They just have other linebackers, so maybe he's not as indispensable, but he has no weaknesses. He's in his prime. He's missed 1 game in his whole career. Trent misses multiple games every year. I mean, he's one of the best players I've ever seen.
Okay.
And he's like the coach on the field. I mean, all that cliche stuff. He's that. He's the leader. It's never was Nick.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Okay. Now, this one you may disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 on the lower list is Christian McCaffrey.
No, I agree with that. I would put George ahead of him if George were healthy, but he's not.
No, I remember.
Yeah.
Regrettably, George is not eligible for this list. When these guys come back, we can redo the list. But I'll tell you why I say Christian McCaffrey. And I say it with a little bit of hesitation. He used to be a flat-out great player. Iggy, it was such a pleasure to watch him as a running back. Get the ball, maneuver through the line of scrimmage, and break free.
I'm guessing Christian 2 years ago was as good as Roger Craig ever was.
I would say yes.
Yeah.
And I would say maybe he held on to the ball a little better.
Interesting. Yep. Roger Craig cost him. Yeah. Well, Christian fumbled in the Super Bowl. Take that back.
Okay. In any event, he is now a very good player, and that's a downgrade from the best player in the league or a flat-out superstar or an elite player. And here's how I see him, Iggy. I see him as a brilliant receiver coming out of the backfield. A+. Phenomenal. And when he's in space, I hate that, near Neptune.
Outer space.
When he is in outer space and he can get a step or two, he's very good. But as a running back now, he's almost ordinary, Iggy. Yeah. That dimension of his game either is gone or has not yet come back.
He's not big and powerful. Like Frank Gore had some power. This guy was all quickness and elusiveness, and I feel like he's lost a lot of that.
Up to now, he has.
Yeah.
And in addition, you've pointed out to me, he gets hit very hard now.
Driven backwards, flush hits to the chest, multiple guys. I mean, yeah.
A lot of that.
So you're like, oh, are you okay? Yeah. I mean, didn't you used to feel that way? Yeah.
But
still number 4.
Kyle, but last point, uses him for almost half of his offensive plays. So he's significant. Just by the scheme, he's significant. So he's number 4. Iggy, those are my 4. Why don't you take over the list from now on?
Okay, and again, these are players who are healthy on the active roster. So no Ayuk, no George. Diamador Lenore, the cornerback. You don't hear very much of him during the game because teams just stopped throwing his way a couple years ago. He's excellent. He's one of the best cornerbacks in the league, and he allows the Niners to play man-to-man coverage on third down, to blitz. He really gives them a lot of options. He's as close to a shutdown cornerback as they've had for a while.
Shutdown cornerback.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you never see teams really go after him anymore.
Iggy, does he hit hard?
Hard enough.
Hard enough.
Hard enough. I remember Jason Verrett a few years ago, how good he was.
Yes, I do.
This guy is like that, maybe better.
And you happen to like him very much, right?
Very much. He's one of the most down-to-earth guys on the team. And he's always available in the locker room, and he'll like talk off the record and that kind of stuff. Although he's not like saying incendiary things. He'll just give you background.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 5. Tell us number 6.
I'm going to go to the rookie, Mykel Williams. He's even more important now that Nick Bosa's down. He's their best defensive lineman. He's their best run defender. He's improving as a pass rusher every week. They really, really freaking need him. And he like almost single-handedly improved their run defense. There's a stat that shows that their run defense is way better when he's on the field than when he's not. That's helpful.
Have you spoken to him?
I have spoken to him. I like him a lot. He's really down to earth. He's always available in the locker room, and he's young, so he's kind of a man of few words right now. He may always be, but he says a lot with his few words. I asked him, like, what do you like about run defense? Because usually most top pick D linemen are in it for the sacks and like the glory. There's nothing glorious about run defense. And he said something just very deep. He was like, because they're trying to push you and move you, and they can't, but I can move them. It's like, yep, I get it. You have the right mentality. So
I love it.
Yeah.
That's the basic thing. It's the fact of his football life.
Yep. And it seems like he likes the very basic essence of football, not like the glory. I'm not saying he doesn't like money and glory too, but if he likes the grunt work of football, he's probably going to be pretty successful if he stays healthy.
Okay, I love it.
You know, like does Nick Bosa love the grunt work of football? I don't know, but we don't need to talk about him.
No, because he's not eligible. He's on the ineligible list.
Okay, 7. Bryce Huff, the new edge rusher. I think he's really good, Dad. Now he doesn't really defend the run much. He's a little bit of a one-trick pony, I guess. They don't really want him out there to defend the run, and he's kind of smaller. I think if he were to do the grunt work of defending the run all game, he'd probably be a little less explosive as a pass rusher in the fourth quarter when you need him. But they manage him really well, and he's so explosive. He won the game at the end of in New Orleans by recording a sack in like 2.4 seconds. It was one of the fastest sacks in the league all year. He's everything they wanted D Ford to be, but Ford was hurt and expensive. This guy, they traded for him from Philly. Philly gave him $50 million last year. They're trying to get rid of him. They're paying more for Bryce Huff than the Niners are this year. So that's one of their best moves of the year. And they're going to need him because now he's their number 1 pass rusher.
Love it.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
Yeah. And this is another solid special. He had him in New York. He was an undrafted free agent. He developed him over 4 years. He had a season where he had 10 sacks. Then he went and got a $50 million contract from the Eagles. Vic Fangio instantly fell out of love with him, stopped using him, and Saleh got him back. Knows what to do.
I wonder why Fangio didn't like him. Different
schemes. Fangio tried to turn him into like an outside linebacker. It's like, it's not what he does. He just goes, he does one thing. He goes that way really fast.
Got it. Yep. Okay, so that was 7, right?
Yep.
I'm keeping a list here, guys. Okay. 8.
Jennings.
we consider he's playing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. He missed last week, but I think he's going to play.
Okay.
Jennings, I still
love
think he's the number one receiver on the team. As good as Ricky is, I think Jennings is still the number one guy. He's a hell of a player.
Yeah, I like him. He has great hands and he's tough. I really like that about him.
Super tough. Yes.
Super tough.
Super tough. 9 Winters, the linebacker.
See, I think
he's been outstanding this year. You might put an argument that he's above Jennings.
Okay. 10.
He's just been everything they wanted Dre Greenlaw to be, and I was complaining when they let Greenlaw go. Greenlaw still hasn't played a game, and Winters is terrific and affordable. So good for them. Good for him.
10.
Ricky.
Okay.
He's been excellent this year. And now they could trade Brandon Ayuk if they don't want that contract anymore because Ricky does a lot of what Ayuk did. He's the field stretcher.
Okay. I'm going to make a bit of a counter argument at 10.
Okay.
The place kicker.
I knew you were going to say that.
How'd you know?
Because it's a good call. He's freaking important.
We saw how important he is because the other guy, right? So maybe I would make the kicker 11.
Okay.
Okay.
Because you think it's so easy to find kickers, right? Not for the Niners.
Yeah. Maybe he's honorable mention.
I like that. It's a good list. Okay.
But Iggy, the kicker, we understand is really important because the other guy, I'm sure he's a very nice young man. You have to be able to depend on your kicker. You can't get, diarrhea every time he lines up for a field goal attempt. So anyway, Pinero.
I've been giving Mac a lot of credit for leading that comeback last week because he deserves it, but he also had Mr. Dinero making his kicks. And there were some close games that Purdy lost the last couple of years where he did not have Mr. Pinero. So I got to give, you're right. The kicker's important.
Dinero Pinero.
I love
He's
that
like
name.
money.
Official B&M Music 88 says he would mean that you cannot lose a game to a team that everyone else in your division will beat. It could be the difference between the division.
He might have meant that.
One official B&M Music 88 says CMC is reverse Debo now, mid running back, but great wide receiver 2-3. I'd like to see Kyle put him in the slot and use 2 running backs on the field at once. I think that would be kind of creative. And I'm always looking for a way to not play Kyle Juszczyk. All right, Dad. The Niners are 3-0. I didn't expect this, although I have predicted them to win every game. But when the schedule came out, I didn't expect 3-0. I don't know if they expected 3-0, and these have been some very close games. What do you think of them being undefeated at this point?
Okay. I have very definite thoughts about it. 3-0 is just terrific.
Mm-hmm.
I have no misgivings about the 3-0. I feel they are a much better team than I thought they would be. I give Kyle 100% credit for being 3-0. They had a lot of reasons not to be 3-0. They could have folded. They could have felt bad for themselves. At critical moments, they could have said, what do you expect? They got all these guys hurt. I think it's really an achievement that they're 3-0. And it makes me think that, and we'll get to it later, that they're going to beat Jacksonville and they have a really good shot against the Rams. That's what it makes me think. Now, if they don't have quarterbacks who can play, then I have to say I have to take these things back. You know what I mean? But I'm assuming they have a quarterback who can play. So I think this 3-0, there is no way you say they're 3-0, but there's no but. They're 3-0. Right now, they're one of the best teams in the NFL. That's how I feel. What about you?
Yeah, that's how I feel too. And I think what's interesting is I said the 3-0, but Kyle did it. He was like, we're 3-0, but we could easily be 0-3 and yada, yada, yada. It's like, I still think it hasn't hit the Niners how good they are. I don't think they expected to be this good. Remember, they were talking about the lumps they were going to take this year. No, not yet. I mean, you've taken them to your roster, but not to your win-loss record. And so they have all this cap space. There's more. They just lost Nick Bosa. They have an easy schedule. Even if Brock Purdy is not 100% this year and it's him and Mac go back and forth, they can win a lot of games this year. And the idea that they should like maybe play for next year to me is bullshit. You got an opportunity. You're 3-0 right now. Yeah, it's not ideal and you got some injuries, but this is your year. It's an easy schedule. The Super Bowl's at Levi's. Like Trent Williams is 37 years old. This is your year, and approach it that way. If there's a deal you can make at the deadline to make your team better, make it. Make it.
Iggy, when Kyle says we just as easily could be 0-3, I have a few things to say about that. First of all, I think he's a worrier.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably all are, these coaches. Bill Walsh was a worrier. He probably is a worrier. And he thinks, but this went wrong.
My team thinks we're so good, but we're really not. And it's scaring me. Yeah.
And I wish I had a better running game.
Yes.
We need a better running game. That could hurt us.
I wish I could keep my quarterbacks healthy.
Yes. So that he's probably a chronic worrier about football. And I get it. Mm-hmm. And here's the other thing. He doesn't want to jinx it.
Yeah.
That's how they are. If I say, I think we're really doing okay, I'm really pleased, he might feel he's jinxing it. So he's got to sort of give it the evil eye. You know what I mean? Yes. So he won't jinx it. I think that's how they think.
I agree.
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting that they're a little ahead of schedule. You have all these older players that you've committed to. Don't act like this is some transition year where your young guys figure it out. Like, no, they're figuring it out. Michael Williams looks good. Upton Stout looks good. The defense is really good. Even if Nick Bosa isn't out there, you should win 10, 11, 12 games. Seize your moment. This is it. You got two quarterbacks. This is it. They might win the Super Bowl this year if they play their cards right.
Seize your moment. Carpe diem. Carpe diem.
Yeah. Dead Poet Society, baby. That was one of the best movies Robin Williams ever made.
That was a hell of a movie.
Hell of a movie. That's a good, like, high school coming of age movie because it's deep. There's life and death in it.
And then there's the Saul Bellow short story, Seize the Day.
Yes.
Which is best thing he ever wrote.
Yes. All right. Well, you heard it. Carpe diem, Niners. Max Build Fix says Kyle's going to raise the 6th Lombardi at home. Might.
Well, there you go.
All right. Let's make some predictions then. In honor of that one, PrizePicks. We got Brock Purdy gutting it out, Dad. 244.5 passing yards. They don't run very well anymore. They've been passing a lot. What do you think? More or fewer?
Fewer.
Ooh.
Can I say why?
Please do.
Can I say why? I think he's hurt.
Yep.
And I think Jacksonville has a really good defense.
Yep.
And will tie up some of his receivers.
And win the trenches.
Yeah.
And they have really good linebackers too, so McCaffrey may not, dominate as a receiver. Yeah, that's a good call. What about T-Law? Trevor Lawrence. 229.5 against the 49ers stingy defense. More or fewer?
Okay, could I just preface this by saying, is this the most overrated quarterback I've ever seen in my life?
But his hair is nice.
His hair is nice. I wish I had his hair. There were certain players I love to watch. I even like to watch Kyler Murray. I like to watch. Mm-hmm. This guy, Iggy, I can't stand him. So I'm going to say fewer.
Fair. Rushing yards. Do you think Brock Purdy will rush for 10.5 yards with a messed up toe?
That's a good one.
10.5.
10. Okay, Iggy, 10.5. Does that include scrambles and stuff?
Yeah, just rushing yards total, 10.5.
Okay.
Week 1, he rushed for 17.
I'm going to say more. I know it's risky, and although I'm risking nothing, so I can say it.
You like to live dangerously, don't you, Mr. Bond?
Yeah. I'm going to say more.
What about Christian McCaffrey? 75.5 rushing yards. That seems like a lot for him.
No way under the sun on Sunday.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not going to happen.
On that. It's not going to happen. Let's do some receiving, and then we'll call it. Jennings, Pearsall. Jennings, 50.5. What do you say?
No, I don't. I think he's a little hurt.
He's a little hobbled?
A little hobbled. I think Pearsall will have a big day, but Jennings, look, I want him to have a big day because I love the way he works. But no, I don't think so, Iggy.
Okay, we'll do the more for Pearsall. Those are the Cohn's official prize picks of the week. Check them out. Download the app, flex your play, submit your lineup, use promo code COHN when you make your lineup, and when you play $5, you get 50 instantly in lineups when you use that promo code COHN. And remember, this app is available in 45 states, including California and Texas. All right, Dad, it's time to make some predictions. Let's play the game in our minds and make a case first for the 49ers losing. And then we'll do the case for them winning.
Okay. I'll start, and then you'll fill in because you're better at this than I am. The 49ers will lose because Brock Purdy is not 100%. He will not be able to scramble. He won't be able to push off as he needs to. So some of his passes will be float-oramas as opposed to more like darts. He will throw 2 picks, and he will have a lot of trouble with that defense. The offense, the Niners' defense will do well against a crummy offense, but it won't be enough. The Niners will lose a game by a field goal or something like that. That's my losing scenario. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have a healthy quarterback. You're going against a defense that knocked out Joe Burrow for 3 months. They're a really serious defense. They're violent and they intercept passes. It's going to be a rough game for the offense if they lose in this scenario. The running game won't work. They'll have to pass more than they'd like to. I mean, this with banged up quarterbacks, you'd like to throw maybe 27 passes, where all year they've been throwing 40 a game, and it could be another game like that. Yeah, I mean, if they could just get through the game with the quarterback upright, that would be impressive considering what they're facing. And I don't have much to say about the defense in this. They could lose the game with their offense. Even if they move the ball down the field, what are they going to do in the red zone? Stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So that way it looks like a very tough game. I think a winning scenario is a tough game too. A winning scenario. So let's say winning scenario, Salah's bunch just makes their offense look like a college offense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the quarterback. I think it's a stuttering, halting offense. Doesn't have a lot to scare you. Doesn't have the quarterback doesn't scare you. And Purdy is more healthy than we think.
Yes,
he's able to do Brock Purdy things. Right. Maybe not 100%, but maybe 90%. And he doesn't re-injure himself. They pad his toe. They do whatever they have to do.
He's the best quarterback on the field in the game. No question. In the scenario.
Yeah. McCaffrey is still able to catch passes, and he has some runs because every once in a while he does get a run where he gets through the line of scrimmage and he gets 9, 10, 11 yards. Let's say he has a few more of those and maybe even breaks away more. Ricky Pearsall has a big game. Ricky Pearsall is emerging as just a wonderful wide receiver, Iggy. I love to watch him work. So that the offense will have trouble with the Jacksonville defense, but not as much as you think. And Salah's defense will just wipe out the Jacksonville offense. Again, close game, maybe coming down to a field goal. Your winning scenario, Iggy.
Yeah, like the Niners offense has a tough task, but they also have the best receiving running back in the league. And 3 good wide receivers, not just Ricky, but assuming they have Zohn, I think they will. And they definitely will have Demarcus Robinson for the first game this year. So like, as long as Brock just doesn't throw 2 picks, they might be able to do enough on offense to win because Jacksonville's offense is a mess. The Niners offense isn't a mess. The Jacksonville's offense is a mess. They lead the league in drops. Their quarterback isn't good. Their scheme is just a bunch of quick throws, screens and stuff to guys who drop the ball routinely. So even if the Niners offense struggles, they could win the game because it's Jacksonville and it's Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, that's what I think. And now Kyle may be nervous about this game. Well, clearly is. It's
Yes.
his job. I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous about the game. And I see the Niners having all kind of advantages. In addition, Iggy, I see them going into the Rams game at 4-0.
I think I'm going to be foolish and pick the Jaguars. Something feels off with this game.
Seriously.
Kyle's making it a bigger deal than it needs to be. I don't think Brock should be playing. I don't think they have a healthy quarterback. I got a bad feeling about this game. If one of the quarterbacks were healthy, I'd pick the Niners. But I don't think either one is. I think they got a problem. Maybe, but I'm a worrier, Dad. I'm a worrier.
Okay. So I'm picking the Niners and you're picking the Jaguars.
I am.
Iggy, does this call for a bet?
Sounds like a bet.
Okay, you tell me
should we wager like a nice like northern Florida bottle? Should we do northeastern Florida? Do they make wine in there? They make wine in somewhere on the East Coast.
Virginia. They made wine in Virginia. That's Trump. Trump has his winery in Virginia. Did I even tell you we had my wine group, and it's everybody famous that you know is in the wine group, and you had to do like a cab. And it's blind. You don't know what it is. I got Trump. I got a bottle of his best cab for, I think it was $80. And I brought it and it's blind. It came in second at $12. I think it was, Iggy. That's not expensive for a Cabernet. You know, up in Napa, that's $150, $200. But anyway, it came in second of 12. And most people, they made fun of me. I did it as a joke. One person there was kind of pissed, but I'm not saying who, that I had a Trump wine. Okay, so what I don't want to bet. I want to bet a good bottle of wine.
What do you think? Because I suggested last time the Washington cab. Why don't you suggest one?
Okay, how about an Oregon Pinot? I like that. Oregon Pinot.
Willamette. We're talking Willamette.
It could go rogue. To be Willamette.
No, it's got to be Willamette.
No rogue.
So Applegate. All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So I'm saying the Niners win, and you're saying the Jaguars win.
Yeah.
I love it.
You think I'm being too much of a worry ward, huh? All right. We'll see.
No. You know what I think you're being? I think you're trusting your gut, which is the most important thing in a very close game. I admire it. And you're going against what fans would want you to say, but it shows that you have conviction. And if you're wrong, you'll say I was wrong. You won't apologize because there's nothing to apologize for. And you'll give me a nice bottle of wine.
Yeah. And I'll praise Kyle Shanahan for winning, one of these types of games, whatever type that is.
Okay. Iggy, I have another topic.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. I want to remind you people that last week Iggy went over to Trent Williams and said, what is the difference between Brock and Mac in the huddle? Where did you get that question from, Iggy?
We were eating dinner and you said, that's a question you could consider asking. If you get an offensive lineman alone, just ask them the difference between the quarterbacks in the huddle. And I thought, that's a great idea. So thank you, Dad. I owe you a nickel for that.
A nickel. Okay. Yeah. Please tell people what was said.
So I asked them, what's the difference between them in the huddle? And football players are a little nervous to say differences. So at first they're like, oh, they're so similar. They both played some really high level, tense moments, but Mac just has this ability to sort of keep things light in the huddle where Brock is sort of more like laser focused. And I'm like, when you say like keep things light, you say like he makes you laugh. He's like, no. He's not cracking jokes. He just sort of like alleviates the tension. And he didn't say that. He didn't say like as opposed to Brock, but he just kept making the point that Mac has this sort of like light touch. And I think like the opposite of that would be sort of like a tightness. Anyway, when he said that stuff about Mac, it reminded me of Joe Montana and the things that people used to say about him, the John Candy line. I thought it was kind of a cool distinction. I appreciate Trent Williams for humoring me.
Tell the story about John Candy.
So I just this is before my time, but I just went back and watched a documentary on it's on YouTube. And it was like the final drive of the Super Bowl against the Bengals. So might have been 89. And Harris Barton is in. I mean, everyone's nervous. Harris Barton's in the huddle. He may have been a rookie. He's young, and Joe Montana said he was vibrating. He was so nervous. So to calm him down, he pointed out John Candy in the stands and said, "Hey, there's hey, Harris. It's John Candy right over there." And Harris is like, "Oh, you're right." And it just sort of relieved the tension for everyone. And they marched down the field like it was a Tuesday at practice and won the Super Bowl. So it was one of the nice touches that Joe Montana could provide.
They were trailing, right, Iggy?
I believe they were.
They had to come from behind.
You were there.
Here's the thing. I was there.
Yeah.
I forget. So I apologize. I forget the games. If it's a fight, I remember.
No, I think you're right. I think they were losing. They were going to lose that game.
They were losing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if Bill was calm on the sideline where he's going.
I don't think he noticed John Candy.
I don't think Iggy. I don't think he knew who John Candy was.
Yeah.
Okay, but I have some questions about. First of all, Trent was not saying one was better than the other.
No,
he was not making an evaluation. He was making a description,
right.
And clearly both are effective with the way they are. I think Steve was probably more like Brock Purdy. And Joe is more like Mac Jones.
Yep.
Not a bad choice. Choice.
Yep.
Okay. Some questions. Why would you go to an offensive lineman to ask the question, how are they different in the huddle, as opposed to a wide receiver or a running back?
Because an offensive lineman is more sensitive and would notice more things about other people, as opposed to a wide receiver who's probably thinking about, am I getting the ball in this play? No. Fuck.
Right. My experience was I always talk to the offensive linemen. They're the most observant, and I believe had the highest intelligence. Why did you pick Trent Williams?
Because he's the oldest player on the team. He's a real grown-up, and he would observe these two young quarterbacks from a distance of maturity that I think. And so I appreciated his perspective. Although I'm sure Dominic Pooney and Colton McKivitz would have done a good job too, but someone so much older who's been in so many huddles with so many quarterbacks, I kind of liked his perspective.
I love it. Those are good answers. Yeah.
And he's so good. Like, he won the Niver Award last year. He could win it every year. He's always sitting in his locker. He's never in a rush. He answers your question in a good spirit. And he's thoughtful and smart. I mean, he's a dream.
You said I would like him if I knew him.
Yes, very much. You talk to him every week. I mean, for the same reason you like Joe Staley, just a real grown-up, an offensive lineman. You love offensive linemen. I'm usually talking to the defensive backs, but I like the offensive linemen too.
I love talking to Joe Staley. Joe Staley had such a ethical core. He was such a person you could admire. Joe Staley.
Yep.
Person
Absolutely.
You could admire. Yeah.
Yes. In every way. Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. A cliche. Joe Staley is a gentleman.
Yeah, Joe Staley's a gentleman. That's true.
And he also has wickedness, a sense of humor, all of that.
I don't know if Trent Williams is a gentleman all the time. I have no idea. But to the media, he absolutely is. He's everything Joe Staley was. Maybe Joe Staley was funnier. Joe Staley had a wicked deadpan sense of humor that was very unique. Yeah.
And you loved it. And you were waiting for it, right?
So good. Because he was almost undetectable. He would barely crack a smile, but it was there. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a smart guy.
Okay.
All right. One more. David Double B Studio says John Candy scene in the movie Draft Day is awesome. What's your favorite John Candy movie?
I was never into him. I'm sorry.
I remember him in Spaceballs. Anyway, Dad, I liked the bonus topic. We want to talk about this all week, but I forgot.
But I didn't.
You didn't. That's that 147.
8. 147. 147 is welterweight.
Right. I'm talking about my dad's IQ right now. I almost shorted him 1 point, and he. I never took an IQ test because that's a lot of pressure. 148. Damn.
I got to tell you. Can I tell them the IQ story?
Yes.
Okay. By the way, this is in my book that is now on Amazon, Brooklyn Jew.
Check it out. Brooklyn Jew. Even if you're not a Jew from Brooklyn, it's good.
So here's the story. My mom, Eve, she was so wonderful. She taught the 6th grade in PS 92 when I was in the 6th grade at PS 193. So they were a few miles apart, but I went to the one in the neighborhood, 193, which is now called the Gil Hodges School. One particular Friday, we had the citywide, or it might have been statewide, IQ test. And in a Jewish family in the 1950s, being intelligent and going to a good college was really important.
Life and death, right?
Life and death. Because they thought if you went to a good college, you could be a lawyer and you could marry a wonderful woman and have
you can make it in
life.
America.
You can make it. Of course, it's complete bullshit. But my Eve and my dad, Mickey, they didn't know that stuff. Yeah. So, okay, so I take the IQ test on Friday. Now, it's Saturday morning. I had breakfast. We had a playground across the street, and I used to go and spent my life in the playground playing. So I had my breakfast, and I'm getting ready to put on my Keds and go across the street. And my mom says, hey, Lowell, are you done with the breakfast? I said, yeah, Mom. I'm going to just go across the street and play in the playground. She said, wait a minute. Wait before you go. She says, are you feeling relaxed? I said, yeah. Why wouldn't I feel relaxed?
This doesn't sound good.
No, and I had no idea.
You're not taking me to the ice cream store now.
So she says, you know that test you took yesterday? I said, yeah, like the IQ test, right? She goes, yeah. All of a sudden, she reaches down to a chair by the kitchen table, and she gets out a manila envelope. I was 11.
Yeah.
And she pulls out, she says, you see this here? And there's all these pages. She says, this is the IQ test you took yesterday. And she says, Lowly, sweetie, here's what I want you to do. Answer it exactly the same way you answered it yesterday. Don't change your answers at all. And can you do that? I said, I think I can. And she said, after that, you can go out and play. I filled it out. And then my mother and my father knew my IQ, i.e. was Lowell, quote, college material. Iggy, right? Yeah. They used to talk about college material, and they knew my brother and sister were, but since I was always watching boxing matches and playing in the street, they didn't know if I was college material, and they wanted to have some guidance. Maybe I would be a car mechanic or something. Not putting down car mechanic
was decided in that moment.
Yeah, at the kitchen table when I wanted to go out and play.
And they decided at 11, they're like, Lowell's going to be a lawyer. And you were like, no, the fuck I'm not.
Yeah, I pretended for a while. Oh, yeah. Because my brother was supposed to be the doctor. He was the oldest. Mm-hmm. He had the doctor slot. My sister, the younger one, she was going to be a teacher, and she was. Mm-hmm. I had the lawyer slot, and my dad was a lawyer. But I didn't fulfill the slot.
Shame on you. Did your brother have a higher IQ?
160-something.
Fuck.
My brother was so smart.
See, if I took one and it was like 111, you would think less of me. So I'm never going to take that.
Yeah, but you went to UCLA. Not that you did that well at UCLA. How did you do it?
I made it fucking here.
How'd you do with dinosaurs?
The one class that I got a C+ in. People don't forget. See, because the thing is, my dad paid. I got the privilege. My dad paid for my college, so I don't have crippling debt. And he was cool with me getting B's, but when I got that 1 C+, he was like, hey, what am I paying for, buddy? Like, hey, I'm having a good overall enriching experience. Like, that's fine,
what
but
he
told me. Fucking C+.
Who was in your dinosaurs class?
Russell Westbrook.
Okay, enough about that.
That's how old I am. And I'm sure he got a better grade in that class than me. Positive.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Well, I don't.
But I got a 3.4 at UCLA after starting off with, I got it back. I was a fourth quarter performer. A lot of people were talking about how I finished up at UCLA. They were impressed. A lot of people.
Yeah, you got Pinheiro. That's what happened.
May the Schwartz be with you, says Seven Dennis. That's a Spaceballs reference. Dad, for the 50th consecutive week, this has been our best show of all time. And I want everyone to know that I love you.
I love you, Iggy. Have a nice Saturday.
You too. See you guys.